Title defense. 4 years ago, Murata sparred with Gennady Golovkin. Another impressive performance tonight. He might get to do it for real early next year. Let's check out the tail of the tape in the main event for the WBA middleweight title. I don't want to get all sabermetric-y on you, but those power punch numbers are absurd for Murata. The middleweight average is somewhere in the mid-30s. Murata almost doubles that numbers of power punches. Spectacular pressure he puts on and will put on this man. At one point or another, we've all heard or lived the expression, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But in boxing, what doesn't kill you could still kill your career. See, Rob Brant was at a crossroads a year ago. A mandatory title shot was his, but he saw opportunity elsewhere. So he went to Germany to fight in the World Boxing Super Series against former light heavyweight champion Jürgen Bremer. It did not go well, but by losing, he won. A highlight reel knockout put him back in the mandatory challenger position. And now, guys, here he is, a little wiser, a little tougher, and maybe a lot more ready than he would have been a year ago.
Well, Sean, I can tell you this. You can tell by going up to 168 pounds that he is a risk taker. So he's going to take the big risk tonight, and he's going to have to endure a lot of pressure from Murata to get this victory.
In 1964, the Olympics were in Tokyo. Emperor Hirohito opened the games just days after Bob Gibson beat Mickey Mantle and the Yankees in Game 7 of the World Series. Bullet Bob Hayes won a gold medal at those Olympics. So did Joe Frazier, by the way, at heavyweight. Takao Sakurai won at bantamweight. No Japanese had won a boxing gold medal since, until this man. Ryota Murata ended that drought in 2012, and his star has been on the rise ever since. Guys, there are no shortage of great Japanese athletes that have come to America and conquered. Hideki Matsui, Yu Darvish, of course, Ichiro. When he fights, he sets TV ratings records, Mark, as you were talking about in Japan. The entire country stops to watch. Is this the time the rest of the world starts watching along with them?
Well, you can see from his smile how charismatic and at ease he is with the attention. We found him to be pretty charming and wry in the fighter meeting.
He fights with joy, he fights with confidence, and he fights as a dominant bully. Rob Brant said he's not good going backwards. I'm going to have to take Rob Brant's word for it, because I haven't seen anyone make him go backwards. Main event time for the WBA middleweight title. Jimmy Lennon Jr. time.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Park Theater here inside the new Park MGM in Las Vegas, an MGM Resorts destination, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, in association with Take-Ken Promotions and Greg Cohen Promotions, presents the World Championship featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Geico. We are sanctioned by the WBA, President Gilberto Jesus Mendoza, Supervisor Jose Oliver Gomez. Introducing to you our three judges, Tim Cheatham, Eric Cheek, and Bert Clement. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Middleweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance, and boxing fans joining us around the world on ESPN Plus, live from the new Park MGM in Las Vegas, it's showtime! Introducing to you first the challenger off my right, fighting out of the blue corner, representing Rapiz Boxing. He is wearing black trunks with red trim, and fighting out of and representing St. Paul, Minnesota. He weighed in at a trim and ready 158.4 pounds. He is undefeated as a middleweight, and his complete record stands at 23 wins, 1 loss, with 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making his Las Vegas debut and his first attempt at a world title, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the WBA number 3 ranked middleweight contender, introducing Rob Bravo Brant. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red trunks with white trim, joining us from Tokyo, Japan. He weighed in at a ready 159.2 pounds. With a record of 14 wins, 1 loss, he has 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is one of Japan's most revered sports heroes, the 2012 Olympic gold medalist, tonight making the second defense of his title. Please welcome the reigning and the defending WBA middleweight champion of the world, introducing Ryota Murata. And our referee in charge now to give instructions, Vic Draculich.
All right, gentlemen. This is for the WBA middleweight title, scheduled for 12 rounds. You received your instructions in the dressing room. Again, I want to caution you. Any punch below this area is going to be called low. Kokoba, low blow. All right? Obey my commands in there. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch up now. Good luck to both of you.
I'm not sure. I've seen in a world title fight 2 guys so happy and smiling to be there. Well, maybe a smile will be their umbrella because it's about to start raining.
It's about to go down.
2 affable fighters. Perfect contrast to last week. Not so much smack talking. Matter of fact, no smack talking at all.
Rob Brant already rushed out of the corner right now to jump on Murata. Like I said earlier, he has good hand speed, using his jab, going down to the body in spots. And you see what Murata's doing. Has his hands in his pocket, not doing anything right now.
The jab is going to be the beginning, the middle, the end, the key to everything Brant does tonight. A straight line beats a circle.
Yeah.
If it's used properly.
That's right. That's right. The only thing that worries me a little bit is sometimes I think Brant can get a little bit too greedy and he can get caught with a shot in between, throwing those combinations.
What about, he does lean in.
Yes.
He's available when he leans in. He's available for an uppercut. He's available for a power shot.
Yes.
Which, as we know, is Murata's specialty.
Tip, you weren't overly impressed with Murata defensively.
No.
So let me ask you this. If his defense is shaky, why has no one been able to touch him?
Well, he has a good way of getting out of range with his feet and also blocking, punches like he's doing now, off the elbows and off the gloves. But he continues to put pressure on you and fight his fight. He doesn't matter. He'll keep taking those shots so he can land that straight right hand like he almost just landed right there.
By his own admission, he fights one way.
Good uppercut by Brant started this little rally, but Murata just smiles and laughs him off.
Usually laughing means it hurts.
No,
right, Timmy, come on.
You know what? Murata's just surprised. He's just saying, hey, I'm going to get to you. I'm going to get to you. You're going to slow down a bit. This is the first round, and you're going 100 miles an hour right now.
We talked about Brant's loss. Murata does have a loss to Hassan Ndam, but it was such an egregious robbery of a decision. Not only did their rematch ordered immediately, 2 of the 3 judges were suspended from their jobs for 6 months. So that gives you an idea of the 1 loss that Murata suffered.
Well, we need to start doing that in the U.S. Judges
Bad
need
decisions?
to start getting
Really?
Judges need to start getting suspended.
Tell you what, very active first round here.
What that fight did do for Murata was instill a greater degree of confidence than he's ever had before. He thinks he won it. He said, I'd never been in with a guy who was that good as Ndam.
He took him out, dominated him in the rematch. Entertaining round 1.
Fine.
Oh, let's take a look at some good for Murata here. All right, let's look at the good. He's a pressure fighter. You see him coming forward, never taking a backward step. He goes well to the body, but he hasn't done much body work in this round, and he also has a strong jab. The bad, no head movement. Look at his nose is already bleeding already, ladies and gentlemen. He has the peekaboo defense, which is okay. He catches gloves, punches off the gloves and the elbows, but sometimes he can be a little inconsistent. You didn't see him throw any punches at all that round. Murata. Now let's look at Brant now. Brant. Strong jab. You saw him getting it working in this round, the first round, and you see he got some good hand speed, and you saw him throw combinations. But you also see him lunge a little bit. He has to be careful with lunging with a guy with that much power like Murata. And at times he pulls back, and he also gets a little bit too greedy, like I spoke about in the first round. A little bit too greedy means, instead of throwing 3 punches, he throws 4. He can set himself up to get hit in between those punches by a guy like Murata, who has a lot of experience.
Saw that cut under the left eye. Murata was cut once before in his career, and it was in that same spot, but it was a clash of heads in the 6th fight of his career.
It's curious that what Murata's questioned was Brant's stamina. Now, we're not seeing any evidence of diminished stamina to this point, but you have to wonder, how can he keep this pace up?
Yeah.
Or can he keep this pace up?
Absolutely. Well, there hasn't been any holding yet, but I'm sure it will be some down the stretch because he's fighting at a high pace right now.
Rob Brant has 16 knockouts. All 16 have come within the first 4 rounds.
Sendai Tanaka was quite confident in Ryota Murata's corner. He said he always smiles early in the fight. All he needs to do here is put pressure on Brant. Tall order.
Sendai Tanaka, great story, learned Spanish in Japan and then went to Mexico because he knew if he wanted to be one of the great trainers in the game, he needed to be around the best fighters. It's almost as if the champion is telling himself a joke during these fights. That one got through.
It's very well put.
There's the punchline.
Sean, it's very well put, but to this point, the joke's on him.
Yeah, no question. He's getting dominated, but he's still coming forward, which is what you see in a Murata fight.
You just tell that Murata's looking for one punch. He's looking for the right hand or something to land hard to stop Brant.
It's worth mentioning that Brant has wanted this particular fight. He wanted Ryota Murata for quite a long time. But he thinks that Murata's style is perfectly suited for him.
Yeah, because Murata just comes straight forward. He don't have a plan B.
He's also wide. I mean, he's a destroyer. He'll walk you down, but he's one way, by his own admission.
Everything right now that I said in the opening is looking beautiful right now for Rob Brant. Using his speed, got good footwork, nice IQ, using the jab, landing combinations. You see Murata, you see what his game plan is, seek and destroy. He's gonna go through fire to land his hard shots on Brant.
He's awfully happy for a guy who's been bloodied up pretty good.
A lot of those early shots for Brant got through. Best one was late in the first round. That's another round here for the challenger. He's been the aggressor by far through 2 rounds. Why Murata is still smiling, we don't know when you look at some of the shots he's taking.
Well, I could just tell you this, smiling ain't gonna win you any fights. I can tell you that much, but you see Grant right there, Brant landing the uppercut as he comes in with the combination and splits the guard of that peekaboo defense. Here it is again, more combinations. You know, a lot of those shots were deflected a little bit by Murata, but I love the combinations and, you know, the work rate of Brant right now. And Brant is very aware, you see right there, he's very aware of that right hand of Murata.
I think he needs to be aware of leaning in.
Got to be careful with the uppercut leaning in. But good start right now, 2 rounds in. It's a 12-round fight. And I'm very unsure if Brant can keep this pace up, but if he can.
You have to figure that Murata is banking on that he can't keep his pace up.
Listen, you cannot depend on somebody to be weak so you can be strong. Just put it that way.
Good point.
Look at those numbers. It's just about lunchtime on Sunday in Japan right now, where Murata fights have become national events. A lot of discussion this week here in Las Vegas about what kind of national event would involve Murata should he be successful tonight. A mega fight early next year, but he is taking some mega shots here in the first 3 rounds tonight.
You can see why Murata is such an attraction. He smiles, he takes it, he keeps coming forward. I mean, it's theatrical. It's not effective to this point.
It doesn't. Smiling doesn't do anything. Doesn't win you fights.
As Jose Benavides found out last week.
Good.
There goes your body shot there.
There he is. Now, you see, when Brant stands still, that's when Murata's able to land something on him. Brant's going to have to keep his feet moving. I haven't seen Brant tie him up and try to break the rhythm of Murata. I would love to see him do something like that.
Very deliberate. Body shot.
Rob Brant finally left Minnesota with a higher level of competition, went down to Dallas, hooked up with Derek James. Of course, spent time sparring with Errol Spence. I'll tell you about the welts he got on his hands just from blocking shots from Errol Spence.
He blows up in between, not blows up fat, but he's a big guy. He debuted at 54. So they had some eventful sparring.
The book was that the early rounds might lean towards Brant, but we didn't think it was going to be this dramatic.
Brant did a little block and counter, or some guys call it react or catch and shoot. There's a lot of different names for it, but, you know, he let Murata throw some shots like right there. He caught that, and then you see Brant fire back because Murata's there to be hit.
If Murata is looking for Brant to diminish his work rate, the best way for him to do that is to sink that left hook to the body.
He's hunting for it as we reach the end of round 3. Rob Brant spent the time with Derek James in Dallas and eventually hooked up with a former world champion in his corner. One of the great names of the 80s. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad told us yesterday he won his first world title, former light heavyweight champion, just before he turned 28. Very similar to the age Rob Brant is tonight as he goes to the world title that he eventually lost to Michael Spinks in 1981.
That's Brownsville, Brooklyn's Eddie Mustafa Muhammad.
Now give it a hard jab to the body. Just break him down.
So much in New York and Philadelphia and Jersey.
Good work, champ. Good work. Just like I imagined.
But he also knows the key to this fight. We asked him yesterday, Eddie, what did you work on with Brant? Defense. Without hesitation, defense. And that's what it's got to be here. He's got to protect himself from the big body shots and the right hand.
He knows the Yankees are out, right? And the Red Sox and Dodgers are about to meet in the World Series. Maybe Bernardo can ask him that when he gets hooked up.
All right, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Rob Brant said, I like this matchup against Ryota Murata. What are you liking about the first 3 rounds and what Rob is doing?
Well, number one, Rob is winning all 3 rounds. All he's doing is Murata wants to put the pressure by coming in. We're going to use our quick hands and quick feet and head movement. That's all you got to do with these guys.
Now, Murata said, I'm waiting for Rob to slow down. His stamina is his big question mark. You trained him. How is his conditioning for tonight?
We trained for 15 rounds.
old school, like Eddie Mustafa Muhammad knows.
Goes with the days, right? Round 14, round 15.
Right now, I have to say, I want to see how he's going to react after 6 right now, but he does look kind of fresh. But Murata's getting a little bit closer with that right hand.
He's starting to turn the dial up a little bit now.
Every round he's gotten closer.
Yes.
Brant has to stay disciplined with his hands, and he has to stay focused every second of this round.
And this is the knockout round for Brant. I'm not suggesting he's about to knock out Murata, but after 4, his chances of taking him out become considerably diminished.
And you watch Murata now, because this is the first time you're watching him. We showed you those numbers before about the high percentage he lands of power punches. You can see why by how methodical he is.
He said he threw more jabs for this camp than he's ever thrown before. And that's basically what it's going to come down to. Again, can he maintain this work rate?
Right now, it looks like he is right now. He's looking real good, sweet. He's moving on angles. Murata's walking in the shots. He's having his way. But when he sits still, he got to take on that onslaught from Murata.
Talk to me in 3 rounds when we know what those left hooks to the body have done to Brant.
Yes, without question.
Come on, Mr. Bodyman.
I assume he was talking to you then.
I was definitely talking to Timotino.
But
It's only a matter of time as Tim says, you got to go to the body.
yo, you got to go down to that body. You see right now, Murata starting to inch a little bit closer, and you're starting to see the mouth open for
Aren't you happy?
Rob Brant.
Train me well.
You're just trying to get him to say it in round 4. Did you have money down on that?
We don't bet. I know it's Vegas, we don't bet.
Murata has been betting on his stamina to start to take over the fight in the middle rounds, and he is getting stronger.
You go in spots right now. Brant is standing still in spots, but look at the body work right here from Murata. You know, he's inching close, and he's taking some shots to land these body shots. They're going to play effect later, I believe, in the fight. Brant fighting at a really high pace. That was a little bit on the hip right there. Murata landed that hook right there on the hip of Brant.
That hurt.
Oh, that does hurt, man.
Hurt.
You know, your leg goes numb. You don't even know it. Yeah, your leg goes numb, man. I'm serious.
You said that happened to you once in a fight, and all of a sudden it just affected the way you move the rest of the fight.
Man, you know, I was jumping around trying to get feeling back. It's terrible, but it happens.
Sendai Tanaka, one of the first with the focus mitts. That was sort of his claim to fame. Marco Antonio Barrera kind of came to the gym in Mexico, said, I want to do that focus mitts thing you got going. Now, the smile is gone from the champion now. It is all business.
It'll be back.
One of the things that I want to see Brant do a little bit more of is go down to the body of Murata. I don't think he's put enough emphasis on breaking Murata down, a guy that's coming straight forward. See, he's throwing the jab there to the body now, but I want to see him really dig down there.
Bernardo, you're in Murata's corner?
Yes, I am with Sendai Tanaka. Sendai, ¿cómo cambiar el ritmo del combate a favor de Murata? How do you change the rhythm of the fight to favor Murata?
Ahora está presionando y está cansado su lugar.
Right now he's pressuring and his opponent is getting tired. ¿Qué tan importante va a ser el trabajo al cuerpo? How key is the body work for your pupil?
Más como de relajar.
He's going to keep doing that. He's going to be relaxed in his state, and he's going to bring down the conditioning of Brant.
Well, if you're wondering why Sendai Tanaka is so fluent in Spanish, he learned it from a friend in Japan, and that's what he used when he went to Mexico. Find his way there, and sort of expand his horizons in the fight game. Best shot of the fight for Murata. Brant felt that one with a lot of time left in this round. Murata picked his spot as he wanted to do.
And you see Brant standing still right there, not tying up. And Brant is moving the wrong way right now.
Right into trouble. And Murata hunting him down.
moving into the right hand.
Yeah, you want to, if you got a guy with a right hand, you want to move the opposite way. When you get hit with shots and one way, go the opposite way.
Brant with a combination, trying to fight Murata off here. Again, using the jab to try to slow down this rally from Murata here in round 5.
This is exactly what Murata was looking for, looking to wear down Brant. He said in the fighter meeting that Brant has conditioning problems, and he's taking advantage of it right now as Brant sits still for just a little bit too long.
Good counter from
Brant's
Brant.
a tough guy.
Warrior type mentality, baby.
Best round of the fight.
A lot of back and forth action right now.
To become the world champion, Brant's going to need to survive a round like this, and he has.
Feels to me like a transition round. With the balance of power in the fight has shifted from Brant to Murata, something that Murata thought was perhaps inexorable in a matter of time.
As if Murata knew what he was smiling about the whole time.
Don't go to sleep on me, man. Listen,
right.
you gotta bring them hands back up. And he's walking right into the uppercut and coming back with my left hook. Everything is short now, all right? You got a full gas tank. This ain't nothing. We go all day.
Here it is. That's the right hand right there of Murata. Dangerous. You see exactly where Brant is going. He's going towards.
He's hitting him around there. That's all you got to do. How you feel? Okay, let's go to work. I want more of them jabs.
Like I was saying just a minute ago, you see exactly where Brant is going. He's going to the right, towards the right hand of Murata. He needs to go the opposite way. You see him got clipped there. Legs a little wobbly, a little rubbery right there, but you see the determination, the courage of Brant still coming back. And you know that Murata is having success. And you see Brant coming back also. You see seesaw battle right now for both guys. But I thought Murata did very well that round and controlled that round and won that round.
Tim, what causes a mistake like that? Is that just the fog of war when you start going the wrong way?
No, that's just you know, experience, man.
No. You got cracked with the right hand, you went the wrong way. You know, you were going the right way the whole fight. You got hit with that right hand, you went the wrong way.
Now you see how it's turning around. That's going to be a tough fit. I mean, in a fight that could be headed for 12.
I still don't like how he's
very narrow rounds here. He's still moving into that right hand.
I'm just so confused right now. I don't even know why his trainer didn't even tell him, Mustafa didn't tell him to go the opposite way. Go towards the left hand. Don't go towards the right hand.
Definitely the chant of USA here in Las Vegas. Ryota Murata is looking beyond that. He's looking to become a global brand with a win tonight.
I think you're right, Tim, about the body shots that Brant needs. He needs a way to discourage Murata.
And weaken him.
Murata is apparently, you know, with his smile and his bloody face, he's undiscourageable. It just keeps coming.
Well, you get hit to the body, that's what definitely discourage you and definitely take the legs and some of the power out of your punches and some of your conditioning, but you don't see Brant really doing too much work to the body. You see him headhunting a lot. And that's going to keep Murata coming forward and gaining more momentum and confidence. You see him smiling there.
Brant keeping him at bay. We said how important that jab is going to be. Brant said he threw so many jabs in camp that there were days he couldn't feel his shoulders.
He needs to get back to that. Stick, get out.
That's right. You know, one of the things that Dadaship was doing when he was stepping around this guy? Now, if Brant had the same movement, this fight would be easy.
He was going against DeMarco, who is a southpaw. Instead, Brant's walking into that right hand.
You can do that against an orthodox fighter as well.
You never saw Dadashev lean in like this. You know, his feet were always under him. He was always graceful. And he went to the body.
Yeah, that was beautiful right hand right there. Right between the guard. Right as Brant was throwing the right hand, you saw Murata throw his and got off the line to land his.
Another tough round in this championship fight. So much of that damage on the face of Murata done in the early rounds by Rob Brant. Murata told us yesterday he doesn't think he's a top 5 middleweight, but he feels he can be with a win here tonight, with an impressive win, and obviously some monster names at the top of that list. If Murata is successful tonight, that he could find as a dance partner in early 2019.
Absolutely. I like the fight with, you know, David Lemieux. Why not David Lemieux? I think that'll be a great fight, Murata. Well, if he wins this fight tonight, you know, it's a tough match right now for him. He has more to think about. Hey, Golovkin's a really good fight. I mean, you know, hey, listen, Murata has that big, huge following. So, you know, if he wins tonight, he can have an opportunity to fight one of those big top guys, big names, because of his following.
Mark, it's more than a following. You said it best. It's sort of a built-in economic model when you consider what a fight could be in Murata's home country.
17 million to fight an Italian guy no one heard of. Imagine what it would be for someone like a Golovkin. I gotta say here that 2 rounds ago, I said it was a transition round. You could feel the balance of power in the fight shift to Murata. I got to hand it to Brant. As much as we've been picking at him, what he hasn't done, and he's gone the wrong way, he's a tough guy, and he's returning fire.
Good combinations.
And he's still giving better than he can get.
And let's assume, if they're seeing it the way we saw it, that Brant piled up some rounds here and put him in the bank early.
All right, so in the corner of Rob Brant, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, I asked him, how do you get Murata off of you? He said, we don't care about getting him off of us. What we want him to do is keep coming and move laterally and then punish as he comes in.
The question from the Murata camp was, will Brant have the athleticism, the stamina, and the conditioning to do that for 12 rounds? Good shot from Murata.
Murata likes to measure you, like stiff arm you with the left and throw the straight right.
Murata just landing.
Brant's got to get away from that thing.
Murata's landing some vicious body punches right now that got Brant bagging up.
He is bullying Brant into the corner. Draxler kind of let an incidental elbow go, but now he pushes Murata back.
Murata is such an interesting guy that he's funny, he's affable, he's mild-mannered. His dad is a civil servant, works for handicapped people. You know, there's no trace of the anger or dysfunction that usually fight. Oh, that's why the guy became a fighter. And yet, you know, he has a sort of monstrous persona in there. Seeking to destroy.
Normally we say, where did the anger come from? But with Murata, we go, where is the anger?
Murata's tough. He's coming forward. He's taking a lot from Brant. But he's dishing it out too. And that's what makes the prize fighters. But what I see right now, I see Brant leaning a little bit forward, a little bit more in the inside. And I can see Murata possibly landing an uppercut that possibly can hurt and surprise Brant.
As you get tired, your faults become more apparent.
Yes, flaws, tons of them. That's why you got to stay disciplined.
Brant lands, Murata comes forward. Well, this has been good stuff. Tim, what are you telling Rob Brant in the corner right now?
Right now, I would tell him you got to dig down to the body. You got to keep your legs moving. I don't care if you're tired. You can't be tired, you know? Hey, this is a championship fight. I'm trying to inspire my man to keep doing exactly what he's doing, you know, running his combinations, moving, using his jab, and going down to that body.
So here's the question. Is he leaning in too much and putting himself in danger?
Absolutely. You know, Murata sees it. You know, you see him leaning in right there. Short little uppercut right there. It wasn't a whole lot of power, but he snuck it up there, and I think he's going to go back to that possibly later in this fight.
Tim, I'm always loath to correct you. It's a championship fight, but it's for the, what is it, regular WBA belt. So we're using that term somewhat advisedly, the regular, the interim. Of course, Canelo Alvarez is the real champion. They call him a super champion. I'm a little bit confused, I admit, because I thought all champions are supposed to be super. You know, this isn't like Little League. Not everyone's supposed to get a belt, and we like the belts, and the fans like the belts, and the fighters like the belts. It helps frame the story, but there's too many damn belts.
You're saying it shouldn't be like when you're ordering a burrito. Do I want a regular or super? I don't know.
You know what, I'm not going to lie, there is too many belts in boxing, but you know, these guys are fighting for a world championship right now, no matter how you look at it, which way you look at it.
This is a great fight. You don't need to add anything. It is what it is.
Bernardo, we saw a cut and the eye of Murata being worked on. What was going on in the corner?
All right, so Rudy Hernandez, who works his corner as the cut man, said, no cut, it's just swelling, and we're making sure that we take good care of it. Should not be an issue throughout this fight.
I really like when Brant moves to his right.
I do too, but Grant just got caught.
Right hook.
Jabbing from a little bit too close with the right hand of Murata, which is his power punch.
What I was saying before is that both guys have, I think, distinguished themselves tonight. Fighting courageously, there's merit to what they're doing. You know, you don't have to like tee it up with this kind of belt or that kind of belt. It's a good fight.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a great. I think it's a great fight. Like I told you in the beginning, it was a very compelling fight. This style matchup is perfect. I thought for Brant to be able to have a chance of beating Murata.
I didn't know Brant was this tough.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, like I always tell you, that
Tim
military
did.
mindset,
Tim did.
man, you know he's disciplined. You know he's disciplined mentally and physically. You know he's gonna be ready.
When you spend the week hearing from the Murata camp, not necessarily the fighter himself, about what's next, about Canelo, about Triple G, and all you hear from Rob Brant is how this is his Super Bowl, this is his dream, this night and this place is everything his life has been about. You start to wonder, and the fight has sort of played out that way.
He's done himself a great service tonight, no matter what happens.
Brant getting a little comfortable right now. He's found his mark. You know, when you see a fighter start playing with his hands like that, moving it, you know, smiling, like he's found a rhythm.
Eight highly competitive rounds in this title fight.
You doing all right? Okay, you're going out this round. This is the round you're going out on. How's your stamina? I'm good.
どうしても打とうと思って体が先に入っちゃうから手からだ。次のラウンド。
Don't bring your head in first. Start with your hands.
止めてぞっていう感じで葉っぱかけてるからちょっと次のラウンド。ただガードを開くんじゃなくてくっついて近づいてから
Keep your guard close.
OK。左ボディね。
Here's my question. If you didn't know that Murata was an Olympic champion with great pedigree and the decided favorite, how would you be looking at this fight right now?
And how are the three people that may end up mattering the most in about 15 minutes, how are they looking at this fight, which a lot of these rounds are very much up for grabs?
I could just put it this way. I've been around boxing a long time. Brant is dominating right now this fight. In my opinion, he's dominating. He's boxing well. You know, he's putting combinations like that. He's making this guy walk in, you know, dancing to his beat, man. Look at him. Landing right hands, moving, finding angles. I give a couple of rounds that I've seen early, maybe midway point of this fight to Murata. But right now, I think it's all Brant right now.
You can also catch him when he starts left and then shifts right.
Set traps.
Right.
That's right. Set
Because
traps.
Murata is not, while he's powerful, he's not fleet-footed.
Murata has to be set to punch because he likes to put power on every single punch, including the jab. But he can sit there all he wants. Brant is moving. Looked like he caught his second win towards the end of that round. And his eyes are wide open.
I gave him that last round easy.
He's game right now.
A rare combination from Murata earlier. And you see the head snap back. That left jab again, the jab, the jab, the jab. You said it was going to be the difference in the fight, and to this point it has been. And we're approaching moments in a fight where the champion better start picking it up, or he's not going to be one for long.
All I can tell you is Brant better be careful not to get too greedy. Pick and choose, be selective with his punches because Murata can land something that can hurt him in between those shots.
You could feel Brant's confidence surging from the end of last round, as if he said, okay, I know what you got. I've taken your best shot. Now, that remains to be seen, but his confidence is palpable.
Murata's looking for one punch, and one punch only.
He comes in with that strong overhand right. He's willing to take a jab to get inside. Murata now on the hunt here late in round 9.
Sure, and he doesn't have a choice at this point.
No doubt.
What he needs to learn is how to tie up. That's what he needs to learn. I'm talking about Brant. I haven't seen him tie up one time. That's part of boxing.
Strong finish to round 9 for the champion. After every round, Rob Brant has walked back to the corner and shouted, "Let's go." We'll be back with you on November 3rd as we head to the historic Don Haskins Center on the campus of UTEP in El Paso. Miguel Berchelt, the 4th title defense against Miguel Romano is always fun to watch. This is a great environment. If you've ever been to El Paso, you're on the border. The crowd is really into it. It's going to be a fun night.
And the food is good too.
I'll actually show you a spot. It's like El Paso has become kind of like the boxing home away from home.
Yeah.
I wonder, as we look at the damage now, did the champion give away too much in those first couple of rounds?
I believe so. Like I said, Brant is dancing around him, catching with combinations. Even at the back end of that fight, you saw Murata come on, but you also saw Brant fire back with his combinations to let him know that, hey, no, I'm still here.
Now, look at that percentage for Murata. You see he's got the advantage on Brant, but remember what we showed you at the start. Murata connects on 57% of his power punches in a normal fight. So now he has become ordinary.
But he doesn't throw an overwhelming number of power punches. To answer your question, has he waited too long? The fact that he has to score a knockout, at least the way we see this fight, is evidence that, yes, he waited too long. Or maybe Brant just outfought him.
No, Murata just has only one game plan, seek and destroy, and if he can't do that, he's going to get beat. He's getting outboxed right now by Brant. Murata's inching closer, but Brant right now is doing exactly what he's supposed to do, using his jab and using movement. Just have Murata chasing.
All right, so in Rob Brant's corner, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad is very happy with how he's moving laterally. He's got trouble when he moves straight back. He says that's when Murata is landing. But even then, he's very happy with this fight. He says he'd only given Murata 1 round.
It's possible. It's also possible that's generous.
I'm not sure the judges are going to see it
Quite that
way.
decisive.
There's a left hook right there from Murata. Brant's gonna have to pay attention to his responsibility of defense right now.
Whoa.
What Murata's doing, and the ref warned him for, is stiff arm. You see him at times put his hand out, his lead hand out, and pulls the head down of Brant.
Irony, Murata stiff-arming the former high school running back.
You know what he's trying to do there. He's hit with a shot, but what he's trying to do is trying to get range so he can throw that right hand.
He earned that warning. The guy's been doing it all night.
Yes, yes.
Is this going to be Rob Brant's night? The 28-year-old from St. Paul, Minnesota, who dreamed of coming to Las Vegas to fight for a world title, has had his eyes on Ryota Murata for years now.
These are the hardest rounds. These last championship rounds are the hardest rounds. Fatigue sets in. I'm telling you, you feel like you want to quit in spots, but you know, your heart, your determination, what you've been working for your whole life, you got to just stand in and it's endure.
The feeling was
Brant's winning the exchanges.
he is, and that's what I was going to say. The feeling was Brant could not stand in and trade with Murata, yet he has all night.
Two more rounds, you're world champion. All right? 2 more rounds. Let's do it. Fight smart. Behind my jab. And keep stepping around. Don't go straight back. All right? Keep stepping around. You won if the fight is already won. But don't get careless. I mean by double and triple jab. That's keeping them at bay. All right? Just step around. That's all you got to do. Light action, baby. You want your belt? They got it for you. Thank you. Let's go get it.
I don't know what they're saying to Murata, but Eddie Mustafa's advice to Brant was unassailable. Fight smart, stay behind your jab, and do not pull straight back.
Great instructions.
Look at the staggering number of punches thrown. It's not unusual for Murata to be outthrown, but it is unusual that he does not connect, and he connects on that lower percentage. Brant has done everything he told us he was going to do through 10 rounds.
He's thrown 1,000 punches. Wow. Phenomenal.
It's curious that Murata has also abandoned his body attack.
He's looking for one shot. He's going down the body now, but he's looking for the right hand.
But he had success with that earlier in the fight. It seemed to slow Brant down. That transition round, that 5th round, and then he just stopped throwing it. Looked to take him out.
Bernardo, we were asking what was going on in Murata's corner during that last round. What was happening?
Well, Sendai Tanaka feels that it's a very close fight, so he asked Ryota Murata, go and close the show in these championship rounds.
I think it's falling right now somewhere in between the two corners. I don't think it's 50-50, but I'm not sure it's as dominant on the cards right now as Eddie Mustafa Muhammad thinks it is.
I don't know what he's watching over there.
Let's remember one thing, that Murata is the house here. He's the ace up.
That don't mean anything.
Oh, yes, it does.
Murata's getting beat down.
I don't disagree with you, but the judge is watching ringside. Traditionally, it does mean something. I wish it weren't the case.
Finally saw Rob Brant finally tied up for the first time. Can't believe it. Brant has to be careful pulling straight back with his hands extended. He cannot do that against Murata. This fight's not over yet.
What's amazing, Tim, think of the things you're saying that Brant hasn't done in this fight, and yet he's still winning.
He's landing cleaner, more effective punches. And he's landing at a higher rate, too. Like those combinations.
Great combination.
Right,
Brant getting stronger. He is no longer afraid of the exchanges, and he is getting the better of them every time.
He's saying quite clearly, I've taken your shots. I know what they are. I'm not scared of you.
And now Murata is fading. He's clearly fading.
Now what Brant's doing right now, he's reacting to whatever Murata does. He'll block and then he'll come right back.
Any illusion that this fight was close through 11 rounds is gone now. The champion is in a world of trouble.
One more. You want one more? You want to be champ? One more round. It's going to work, man.
How do you feel about Golovkin Brant?
Hey, I like that.
I don't think it's going to sell out the Tokyo Dome, but yeah, we may have to start rethinking things.
Your hands. Keep going side to side with your hands up, but double and triple the jab. He's done. All right, he's done. You want it easy. Hands up. Let's be smart. Like we doing. Be smart. Double and triple the jab. Side to side. Don't go straight back. That's what he wants. Come on, this is the belt.
日本で家族の店に OK? さあ村田、新岡に倒してこなかったらもう持ってこなくていいんだな。
Sometimes the pictures are worth a million words.
Absolutely. Who would you rather be?
Brant came out a happy, smiling warrior, said, come on, let's bring it on.
Who's smiling now?
Yep, this fight's not over yet until
the history of this sport is written with challengers taking big leads into the final round, only to have their heart broken.
Brant just has to stay disciplined, keeping his hands up and stay to his technique. As you start getting fatigued and tired, you gotta pay responsibility, big responsibility to keep your technique and your form.
I gotta give Brant credit for not listening to the overwhelming opinion, ours included, that it was only a matter of time till he got taken out. I'm sorry, it wasn't yours. You were right.
Again?
Right.
Hey, I'm not always right, I can tell you that much. This is boxing. Anything can happen. And this fight is not
power
over
shots.
Right. This fight's not over yet.
Big counter from Brant.
Brant showing courage.
But after every exchange, Brant has an answer.
He wants to win this fight. That's what he's showing. Courage, determination, will. Everything that it takes to be a champion.
He also needs to get out of there. He needs to move. At this point, discretion is the better part of valor. He's looking at a huge upset win. Don't take that right hand.
I think he's better suited closer because then Murata can't extend with that right hand.
Taking right hands now. He shouldn't be. And Eddie said, box smart.
This is when you got to dig down deep and find anything left in your body.
You also have to maintain your composure.
Murata showing a champion's heart. He's been on the receiving end of 1,000 punches in this fight plus. And yet with his title fading, Murata finishing strong.
We think it's fading. We don't know what the judges think.
Brant got to just push right here. Murata's having a great round right now, landing several strong right hands.
A night Rob Brant said he had worked his whole life for. A night he called his Super Bowl. And Rob Brant is finishing, crossing the finish line like a thoroughbred. Spectacular.
Whatever happens, Bob Brant had the courage to tune everyone out, to listen to his own heart, and believe in his abilities. This was the fight he wanted, and this was the fight he got exactly as he saw it.
Everybody wrote him off after taking the loss last year to Bramer, to an aging light heavyweight. But he said, no, I learned from it. I'm better, I'm stronger, I'm wiser. I've got the game plan to beat Ryota Murata, and it appears he has proven himself right.
Again, in contrast to last week, two exceedingly gracious guys.
Two champions that you love to root for have put on a phenomenal show tonight.
Right at the beginning, Rob Brant getting right to work, coming right out the gate, landing body shots, extending with his combinations, landing a series of strong combinations. Right uppercut, look at that beautiful shot that he lands right there.
We kept waiting for him to fade, and he didn't.
Absolutely not. He dominated the middle half of his fight. He got caught with some shots, but he continued to press forward right there as Murata poured it on a little bit. You see the combinations right here from Brent. He did this all night long to the champion. Murata gave a strong effort through the course of this fight, and Rob Brant, I believe, is going to be the new champion.
Everything Murata had, Brant had an answer for. He finished every exchange.
There's only one answer that matters now, and Jimmy Lennon Jr. has it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Tim Cheatham, scores about 118 to 110. Judges Eric Cheek and Bert Clements both score about 119 to 109. All three in favor of the winner. And the new WBA middleweight champion of the world, Rob Bravo Brant.
Dreams do come true.